First thing you want to do if you're being demure with your finances is welcome to Not Another Money podcast. Why is it called Not Another Money podcast, you may be wondering? It's because this is not your typical money show. Get ready for real money conversations and lessons, expert insights from some of our very special guests, and hear some really inspiring stories from everyday people. On this podcast, you're going to learn how to earn more, how to spend less, how to grow the difference, and most importantly, live your best financial life. I'm a millennial mum of 4, and as much as I like to believe I'm still cool, I'm still hip, I'm still down with the young people, TikTok reminds me of my age all the time, because every time I go on that app, there's something new, there's some new trend, and I'm so confused as to what is going on the app. So recently I stumbled across this whole trend of I'm so demure, and this is demure, that is demure, and I'm so mindful. And I didn't understand what it was all about, but it was getting a lot of traction on TikTok, and even over on Instagram now you see people posting all about it. So I had to go do my own research into it. And so I found the original video, and it was actually quite funny. The person is talking about how demure they are, but they're actually using the word out of context. What they're describing as demure in the video isn't really demure, and I think that's why it probably got so much traction that it did. And I've even seen videos where people are explaining like you're using a word wrong, and they're getting all annoyed about the fact that this trend has taken off and these Gen Zs once again are using words out of context. And I'm like, well, they're not the first to do it. Millennials, we had our words too that we used to use back in the days out of context too, and even today we still do that. I still say things are sick. Nothing is sick, you're just saying it's very good. So that's not a new thing where people take words and redefine them and take them to mean something new. I thought I'll take that trending topic and apply it to the subject of personal finances and share with you different ways that we can be more demure in our finances. And when I say demure in your finances, I'm talking about in the context of the way it's being used currently by the cool Gen Zs. Just to give you a little bit of context and explanation as to what demure means in the context of these Gen Zs and Gen Alphas. Essentially, demure is more than just an aesthetic. It's a way of life that prioritizes modesty, elegance, and a thoughtful approach to consumption. It's all around choosing quality over quantity, making decisions based on your own values and what truly matters to you, and not what society says should matter to you. The shift is very much towards a more mindful and intentional lifestyle, which lends itself so nicely to the topic of personal finance, because we all want to be intentional with our finances, making sure that our money aligns with our values and we're spending our money in the most intentional way that benefits us and our financial futures. So let's dive into some of those practical ways that you can have a more demure approach to your personal finances. First thing you want to do if you're being demure with your finances is create a mindful budget. Create an intentional spending plan that really reflects your values, reflects your financial priorities, reflects the financial goals that you're trying to achieve. In that budget, you want to focus on your needs versus your wants, prioritizing the things that are important to you, prioritize the things that are going to move the needle in your life. You also want to make mindful adjustments to that budget on a weekly and monthly basis to ensure that you are still on track to achieve the goals that you have set for yourself in that intentional budget. Another way you can be more demure when it comes to your finances is to embrace minimalist spending habits. Buy less and choose wisely. So rather than just falling for fast fashion and just spending all the time on every latest offer or latest release, take your time to really be considered with your purchases. Buy things that you really want to buy. Focus on quality over quantity so that your money is working for you and you're buying things that bring value to your life and you're not just being led astray by what you see everybody else doing. Avoid any impulse purchases and practice delayed gratification. Take your time and consider purchases before you make them. That's a more demure way to be. You don't want to just be impulsive, buying on a whim and not considering your purchase. You want to take your time, you want to be intentional and make sure you are spending your money in the most intentional way. You also want to be more demure by prioritizing saving and investing in your future, securing a bag for your financial future. Also make that process as much as possible so you make it as easy as possible for you to put money away towards your future self. By making this a regular habit, you are prioritizing your financial security over this immediate gratification. Another way to be more demure when it comes to your personal finances is to declutter your financial accounts. Simplify your accounting process so you don't need to have 20 different bank accounts with no money inside any of them. You want to make sure that all the bank accounts that you do have, you are utilizing them and getting the most out of those accounts. Close any unnecessary bank accounts that you may have. When it comes to your credit card, you don't need to have 100 credit cards which you're not using. Consolidate some of those credit cards and streamline your financial portfolio, because when you have fewer accounts to manage, it just makes life so much easier easier for yourself. It makes life less stressful, and it makes your finance a lot easier and more simpler for you to manage. If you're trying to be more demure with our finances, we want to start eliminating any unnecessary consumer debt that you may have. Tackle any existing debt that you have with intentionality. You want to create a clear plan as to how you are going to pay that debt off as fast as possible. Paying off that debt as quick as possible is going to reduce your financial stress, and it's going to help you live this more demure life that we're trying to pursue. And when it comes to taking on any new debt, we want to avoid this at all costs. We don't want to be spending other people's money on things that are not important and are not going to eventually make us more money. We want to make sure that once we do pay off this debt, we don't quickly find ourselves back in debt, making the same mistakes that got us there in the first place. Another great way to be more demure when it comes to our personal finances is to adopt a minimalist mindset. Less is more. We want to shift our mindset to a place of appreciation and gratitude for everything that we currently have and possess. So move your mindset from focusing on all the things that you don't have and all the things you want to acquire to really appreciating what you do have and realizing you have enough already. You do not need to keep acquiring more things. Having an attitude of gratitude is going to help you when it comes to this adopting a more minimalist mindset, because when you realize that you have more than enough already, you start to want for more a lot less. A more demure person would prioritize experiences over things, so focus more on building memories, creating experiences with loved ones over just buying more and more material possessions. Instead of spending your money on things that just bring you moments of happiness, spend your money on creating lasting memories with your loved ones. Do you like to travel? Do you like to visit new countries, visit new cities, spend quality time with family members? These are the things that we really want to focus on if we are building this more demure lifestyle that we speak about. Going on from the point about having a more minimalist lifestyle, we also want to take this and apply it to our wardrobe and create a capsule wardrobe. So rather than having hundreds of items in your wardrobe, making a wardrobe burst at its seams, and you're only wearing like 10% or 20% of those items on a regular basis, why not streamline that wardrobe and create a capsule wardrobe so you have less items that are getting worn a lot more frequently? You can still have versatility within that capsule wardrobe and wear really lovely outfits that showcase your demure style, but you want to do so in a way that isn't excessive, and you are able to have a simplified home and a simplified wardrobe. Having this capsule wardrobe will help you to reduce unnecessary shopping, unnecessary consumerism, and unnecessary spending. Another thing you might want to consider if you're trying to adopt a more demure lifestyle is to consider sustainable consumption. So what do I mean by sustainable consumption? I guess that's just a fancy way of saying buy secondhand goods. So not everything you buy and purchase and consume or use in your home needs to be brand new. Why not consider buying secondhand goods and taking items and upcycling them and making them just perfect and demure the way you like it? When you're trying to be more demure with your finances, it's so important to take that time out to reflect and sit with yourself and really look at your financial situation and look at the financial goals and priorities that you are trying to pursue. The last episode of the podcast, I talked about money goals that you can set for the rest of 2024. So if you haven't listened to that episode, definitely go and listen to it after this episode, because that applies here where we're talking about a way to be more demure with our finances, and we want to be reflective. We want to look at the goals that we've set for the rest of 2024, or look at goals that we want to pursue in 2025, and we want to be intentional about what it is we're trying to pursue and where it is we're going. We're not looking to our left or looking to our right at what other people are doing. We're very content and very sound in the plans that we have for ourselves and what we're trying to pursue. On a monthly basis, you want to take that time out with yourself to sit down and reflect on those goals in which you've set yourself, where it is you're going, what it is you're pursuing, what you want to do with your money, and where you see yourself within the next few years. You also want to live below your means. Living within your means is something you want to do if you're trying to be more demure. You don't do too much. You don't overdo it. You don't watch what other people are doing. You're not fazed by what other people are doing. You don't try and keep up with the Joneses. You are content in where you are and where you're going, and because of that, you cut your cloth according to your size. You do not succumb to peer pressure. You know exactly where it is you're going, and you're okay with the financial decisions that you are making for yourself and for your family. If you're trying to be more demure, you want to be a generous person. You want to be that person that gives back, that gives to friends, family, neighbors, that is not so self-seeking and self-consumed, but actually you have a heart and a love and a compassion for other people, and you give to causes that you truly believe in. You give with intention without expecting anything back, because that's just the way you are. Sometimes you even like to volunteer your time and your energy and your efforts to help out for causes which you believe in. Another way to be more demure with your finances is to ensure that you are aligning your finances with your values. You practice value-driven spending. You spend money in a way that is meaningful to you, that adds value to you. You are very intentional about what you give your money to and what you spend your money on. Another way to be more demure with your finances is to adopt a one in and one out rule when it comes to items in your wardrobe and in your home in general. Do you need a blender, a NutriBullet, a handheld blender, a handheld whisk? Like, how many items do you have that can do the same thing? You don't need to have multiples of everything in your home. Simplify your home and simplify your life. When you're demure, you're more controlled with how you spend your money. You're controlled in what you consume. You're intentional about your purchase. So you're not just going to keep buying everything because it's trendy or because you see somebody else with it. You're buying things that add value to your life. So for every new item that you purchase, you want to make a rule to get rid of one item. So one in, one out will be the rule that you apply to ensure that you keep your house simplified and you don't start cluttering the place. Doing this helps to create balance in your life, and it prevents you over accumulating things. So before you make a purchase, you really want to ask yourself, does this add value to my life? Do I really want this item, or am I being influenced to buy this item? If I wait a few days and consider this purchase, would I still make it? Having that conversation with yourself and asking yourself these questions before making purchase helps you to be more intentional and more considered about the purchases that you make. When you're being more demure with your finances, it's important to set boundaries. People need to have boundaries around you when it comes to your finances, and you need to set those boundaries for yourself. Set your boundaries around spending money, around saving money, around borrowing money or lending money. Have those boundaries for yourself in place and know the standards that you're going to hold yourself to. Doing this not only helps you to maintain your financial integrity, but what it also does is it helps you to avoid overextending yourself to friends and family. It's important to be open with your friends and family about these financial boundaries so that everybody's on the same page and they understand exactly what they can expect from you. Being more demure with your finances, you are intentional about what you eat. You're intentional about meal planning and meal prepping and making sure that you are providing yourself and your family with the most nutritious meals every single day. You're intentional. You create a meal plan for every day of the week and you take into consideration all the different family eating habits and food preferences so that you're creating a meal plan that everybody's going to enjoy. It's nutritional in value and you're getting all the food and the ingredients that you need for the meals on that meal plan at the best price, because you are demure, you shop around. Because when you're demure and you create this meal plan, you don't have that stress, you have that ease, knowing exactly what you're going to be eating every day of the week and what the family is going to be eating. And this is a very mindful and intentional way to look after yourself and look after your loved ones. Another way to be more demure when it comes to your finances is to practice financial patience. What is financial patience, you may be wondering? It's similar to the concept of practicing delayed gratification, but financial patience requires a lot more time than you would when you're waiting a couple of days to consider whether or not to make a purchase. When you're applying this financial patience, you're waiting for a lot longer. So if you're saving up for a holiday, for example, or you're saving up for a new car, this is going to take a lot more financial patience. You are going to have to really sit on these plans and this goal that you have for yourself and wait it out for that time to come. And in that time of waiting, you are not grumpy about it or upset about it or comparing yourself to others that are able to do that thing sooner. You are content, you are at peace, and you are mindful of the fact that you know this is going to happen for you when it's the right time, and you are working towards said goal, and it's going to come to pass when it comes to pass. And you're not going to, in that time of waiting, be looking at other people and being jealous of the fact that they've achieved what you're trying to achieve. You're going to practice that financial patience. Embracing this demure approach to your personal finances isn't just solely about cutting your costs and cutting your expenses and simplifying your life and minimizing your lifestyle. It's all about cultivating a lifestyle that values simplicity, mindfulness, and intentionality. So by adopting some of these strategies that we've spoken about, all of these ways to be more demure that we've mentioned on today's episode, you're not just solely cutting costs and cutting expenses. You are cultivating a financial lifestyle that essentially aligns with your values, reduces your stress, and overall enhances your well-being. So with each of these tips, I hope it's encouraged you to kind of slow down, really think about what you're doing financially with your money, being very much intentional and mindful about the things you're putting your money towards, making sure that the way you prioritize your money and spend your money aligns with your financial goals, that you're not being impulsive, you're not being led astray by what you see other people do, but in fact, you're being very intentional about what you put your money to and where exactly your money goes. So as you continue to apply all the principles that we've discussed in today's episode, what you'll probably find is this Demure approach to your personal finances will not only bring you financial security, but it's also going to bring you a greater sense of peace and fulfillment in your daily life. So I hope you've enjoyed today's episode where I've kind of shared my take on how to be more demure with your personal finances and things that you can do to have a more demure lifestyle when it comes to your money management. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of today's episode. If you're listening on Spotify or any other streaming platform, please do leave a review, give this episode a thumbs up and share it with a friend or family member. And I will speak to you on the next episode. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.